Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss how to write an effective and impressive resume so that the resume is selected for a particular kind of interview call and some other kind of professional work. But before that, we should understand the process of recruitment in any kind of company or industry or corporate house. The first step, of course, is human resource requirement is generated, job description is created, vacancy is published. So these three steps are basically done from the company side, where they generate vacancy and they publish advertisement in magazines, newspapers, employment newspapers and all. Now the candidates look at the vacancies, they observe the job description, they try to understand what kind of responsibility is there. So everything candidate has to observe, and now the candidate has to prepare the resume and the candidate has to send the resume to the company. So these three steps are done by the candidates. Now again the resume is inspected and shortlisted by the company. So you can see very well the final step is candidates are called for the interview if their resume is shortlisted. Now you can see that resume is playing very important and key role here. Resume is to be prepared by the candidate in such a way that it is shortlisted. The objective of sending resume to the company is, of course, shortlisting, right? So resume is very important from the point of view of the recruitment process, from the point of view of the candidate himself. So resume is to be made in very effective way. The resume is 1 to 2 page summary of background and credentials of the candidate. The resume is used to sell your credentials for the purpose of employment, admission to universities, consideration for scholarship, fellowship, etc. But the most important thing a candidate should consider here that your resume will be screened by an employer for just 15 to 20 seconds. The reason is very simple, very understandable, that for any kind of vacancy, employer receives hundreds, 200, 300 of resume. And in that case, they have to inspect all the resume. They have to find out the resume which are best suited for the particular kind of job description. And in the practical process, they spend hardly 30 seconds, 20 seconds for a resume. So you can understand the importance of resume, the importance of those 2 pages, that on the basis of those 2 pages, the candidate is being shortlisted or rejected. So the importance of resume is generated here. The contents which we are going to discuss here are structure, proofreading, formatting considerations, and do's and don'ts in the resume. Let us begin with the structure. The first and foremost important thing in a resume is your name. So your name should be bold, it should be bigger in size, it should be clearly visible, means everything, because this is the first line of your resume. The next point is your correspondence address, your postal address, your mobile number, your email, everything should be clearly mentioned over there. And also you should be very clear which number is you are using regularly, which email you are checking regularly. So it is very important. One more thing about email is that your email should be looked like professional one. It should not be like crazy boy, crazy girl, some those kind of email IDs should not be prepared. The next step is use a resume summary. Resume summary is a very important statement for a particular resume. In 3 or 4 lines, you present yourself. You show all the credentials of yours, like senior level technical manager with 15 years of management experience, a master's degree in mechanical engineering, and 10 years as design engineer in an auto industry. You can see that in these 3.5 lines, a person has shown everything about him, about his experience and about his degree. Suppose a person who is fresher, he can mention that a computer science engineer with 8.5 CGPA having skills of web development as an extra edge. So in these 2 lines, the engineer has mentioned that he has got 8.5 CGPA, that is his academic record, and also what extra he has got during his graduation, that he has developed skills of web development. So you can understand the importance of the resume summary. The next point in the resume is career objective. Generally what happens, people maintain single objective, they write a statement of the objective and they use the objective in all the resume for all the companies everywhere. In each and every job we can see they send their resume with the same career objective. But but the objective is about the company's need, not about you, what you desire from the company. It is to be written in the alignment to the job advertised. It means you have to be very careful by reading the job description and in the line your career objective should be. Career objective is customized. It is different for each job you apply. It should be based on the job description given by the company. Tailor your information for the job advertised. It means you have to find out the keywords from the job description. Let us take some examples. Study each point of job description. Pay particular attention to the sections labeled requirements or qualifications. Identify keywords in the job posting to find out what the employer is looking for in an ideal candidate. Include those keywords in terms of skills and experiences in your resume. It means the job description is to be studied by you very clearly, thoroughly, and you have to understand the keywords from the job description so that you can relate those keywords with your qualifications, with your experience, with your skills, with your academic achievements and everything. Let us take some examples. I have mentioned here a job description of a particular vacancy, that is market research analyst for a particular company. The company require fresher, that is related with the qualification of course, BSc, BCA, BE, BCom like, and the job responsibility is mentioned over here. Like I have highlighted those responsibilities and keywords: focused on accurate data for sales marketing, knowledge on finding contacts through LinkedIn, online resources, means internet knowledge is required, research and analysis on the events in American market, it means analytical ability is required, functional area is also mentioned here. So skills should have excellent communication, interpersonal skills to build good working relation, like means the highlighted keywords may be used to generate career objective. Let us take the example. A person makes his career objective for this particular job description, that seeking position in market research or financial analysis where strong technical skill, mathematical, statistical background and problem solving abilities can be applied. So he is mentioning all the keywords in his career objective, like market research, like technical skills, like mathematical skills, problem solving abilities, everything. So the career objective may be linked with this job description, and when the HR manager or the concerned authority studies this kind of objective, they can definitely align the objective with the job description. The next point is list your work experience. With latest event first, that is reverse chronological order, don't include responsibilities, instead mention accomplishment. For example, if you have worked as a sales manager somewhere and you are mentioning that from 2010 to 14 you have worked as a sales manager. No, you should mention that you have worked for 4 years as a sales manager and you increase the sales of the company by 40%, 50%. So you should mention the accomplishments. Freshers who don't have the work experience, they may include relevant courseworks from their academic syllabus, the academic achievements, their other expenses like co-curricular activities and extracurricular activities. Then comes list your academic background, again in the reverse chronological order. It may be in tabular form or in a simple one after the order. So till now what we have discussed, your summary, your objective, your experience and education, it may look like this in your resume template. Next is List your projects, your internships, your rewards, your recognition, everything which is unique to you, because academic record will be there with all the candidates, but projects, internships, rewards, awards, recognitions, they all are unique with the candidate. So you should very effectively mention your projects and internships. For example, a candidate is mentioning a project. He has participated in a series of experiments to build analog circuits, gained experience in circuit and component modeling. It means he has mentioned here the name of the project, and also he is mentioning what experience he has got from that project. That is the key thing here. One more example we can take. The candidate has researched and created an experimental men's collection based on a new fabric blend. This is for a particular fashion designer who is mentioning what he has done in his project. Then list your certifications, awards, recognition, etc. For example, CIDQ interior design certification. Dean's list means you have been the one of the best students of the College of Engineering. You have got some kind of scholarship in during your academics, etc. List your internship with the learnings. For example, you have been marketing intern from this to this duration. You have tasked with creating and launching daily email campaign by identifying the target candidates. You have worked as a management intern somewhere, and where you have owned expertise in template design. So in these kinds of things, this shows your uniqueness. What you have learned from your internships, what you have learned from your projects, you should mention all those things. Then comes the skills, transferable skills, the skills which you can transfer to your job, connected with the job description of the company. For example, soft skill. Generally, candidates do that, they simply mention leadership, interpersonal skills like that, but you should mention how your skills have been used in the past. Because of my leadership and interpersonal skills, I have been given a project to lead 5 team members in ABCD company 2002. Let us take one more example. For computer skills, you mentioned I did a 6 month certification course in MS Office and CorelDRAW. So in this case, you are saying that how long you have going for the MS Office and CorelDRAW, and this shows your proficiency level in the computer skill. Core skills, for example, you have worked for 2 years where I prepared 6 sales and marketing projects feasibility reports. I have worked as an assistant designer for 2 years where I used design software, Cameo V5, 5 Matrix Professional like. So you are clearly mentioning what kind of softwares you have used, what kind of work you have accomplished, so that can be transferred to the current job description, and your skills would be useful for the particular company where you are applying. The important thing is, many times the question arises whether we should mention our weakness in the resume or not. For this, I have a clear answer. You should not mention your weakness unless you have overcome those weaknesses. So you should be very clear by mentioning your weakness, that you have already identified your weakness and you have overcome those weaknesses. Right? For example, I improved my computer skills by doing a certification course. In this sentence, you are clearly saying that you were weak in computer skills, but you have improved till now your computer skills by doing a certification course in the same. Next, include additional resume sections, which is very important nowadays. Web presence, how you are behaving on web, how you have groomed yourself in the website presence. So LinkedIn, mention your LinkedIn profile, mention if you are maintaining some kind of blog, and also mention that how you are maintaining the blog, if you have created some website or something. But don't mention your social networking accounts on your resume unless it is asked. Be careful. You mention your membership of professional societies such as IEEE, SAE, and also you mention the level you are, whether you are a fellow member or associate member, like the languages you know, and also mention the level of the knowledge of language. For example, you are able to speak and write English language because of your native language. You have done some extra course in Spanish, so your level is intermediate listener or novice speaker or advanced reading and writing, it shows that you have judged yourself very well, the level of yourself in the languages. Your hobbies and interests, it is a very important aspect because your hobbies and interests show your personality traits, right? For example, I am an active member of Mumbai Runners and I have run 5 marathons so far. This sentence clearly shows that your hobbies are into running, but it is not merely hobby, you have made it practical, that you are running in marathons also, right? Don't list randomly like I have a hobby of reading books or guitar, like it looks a bit less impressive. Don't include interests such as partying, watching movies, etc. You should not means you should avoid these listings. Your personal details, marital status, your date of birth, if it is asked, you should mention. And the references, if it is asked again, you should mention the references, but you have to be very careful while mentioning the references. The references should be related to the field. Then important aspect comes, that is proofreading, because the resume is very important from all the aspects, from grammatical mistakes, from your vocabulary mistakes, from punctuation mistakes, everything. Resume is the document of yours. It is the paper which is reaching to the HR or the companies before you reach, and many a times you don't reach the places but your resume reach. So it should be 100% okay. You proofread your resume several times. You should owe each and every word of your resume. Grammatical mistakes should be completely removed. Appropriate words should be used. Punctuation marks should be at appropriate places. Dates and numbers should be checked. Read resume backwards if you are not able to find out mistakes reading forwards. Ask someone else to check. You might ask your friends or your brother or someone else who can check your resume and find out the mistakes. Then comes the formatting considerations. Make it brief and easy to read. Select a professional and clean font like Arial or Times New Roman. Keep font size between 10 to 12 points. Use white or cream colored paper. If you are sending a physical resume, avoid colored paper. Don't use colored printout. Don't use paragraphs. Instead, use bullets. Choose appropriate margins. Use 1 inch margin size on all sides. Single spaces between the lines. Use line spacing 1.15 or 1.5. Include numbers for your achievements. Resume samples are not meant to be copied exactly. Generally people, what they do, they find out or they download templates from the internet or they copy the templates of their friends, but you should avoid every time because there are no particular templates for the resume, but you can create on your own. Put the most important information first. That is the single guideline for making the resume, that your important information should be highlighted and it should come first, because on the basis of those important information you wish to be shortlisted. Avoid subheadings and sections. Now do's and don'ts. Use active language, use action verbs. For example, if you write during my time at Victory Company I ran multiple team-based projects and so and so, instead of that you should write I led multiple team-based projects and effectively coordinated group tasks at Victory Company. So it give you led, coordinated, these are called the action verbs and they clearly show that you are confident with your work. One more example, if you write I was selected as a IT project team member, it is a passive sentence, while instead you should write I worked as a team member of an IT project at ABCD Associate. So it shows that you were involved in the work, while in this case you were selected by the company only. Universally acceptable words and abbreviations should be used. Make headings bigger. Some of the don'ts are also there. Don't include your photo unless it is asked. Don't write resume as a heading. The heading is your name. You should not write resume anywhere. Don't include negative information because the resume is reaching at those places where you cannot reach and even you don't know where a resume has reached. So don't involve negative information. Don't fold resume on text line. Don't photocopy, instead take printout of good quality. Don't copy and paste from internet, instead create your own. Finally, your resume might look like this, where your summary of qualification, objective, experience, education, awards, projects, internships, computer skills, soft skills, core skills, languages, web presence, activities, and references are there. So, I hope you have understood many things about a resume. You might be having knowledge of the resume prior. As a whole, I just want to say one thing to you, that the resume is does not have any kind of guideline, but it has guidelines for the arrangements. You should arrange your information in such a way that the employer can understand your information, your knowledge, your achievements in the minimum time. And secondly, the information should be best related with your job description. I wish you all the best. I hope you will be doing very good in your future. Thank you.